Welcome to the Ausgel podcast, where we bring the Gelball community together. Each week we have a special guest where we talk about what's new in the world of Gelball, be it milsim, speedball, and everything in between. Now, welcome to our host. Hi, I'm Dan from Ausgel.
I'm Toby from Hardcore Blasters.
And I'm Kathy.
And today I'm joined by the couple behind Hardcore Blasters and the Hardcore Speedball League. All right, now, guys, thank you so much for joining us. It's greatly appreciated. Now, you've both been instrumental in the growth of live-streamed speedball and indoor gelball here in southeast Queensland. Tell us a little bit more about each of your backgrounds and your journey that led you into gelball.
You got us into it first.
Well, William and I used to play, and Bonnie a little bit too. Our son and daughter used to go and play around the place at a few of the different locations that were available. And we sort of saw that something was missing a little bit. A style of gameplay that we play here is quite fast indoors. We decided we needed to either make a decision to do something about it or not. I was in civil construction mostly for the 10 or 15 years before we built Hardcore Blasters, and doing various things on the ground in graders and machines, and in administration as well, senior contract administrator for a while, supervising and all that sort of thing. And it just was something that we either needed to jump in and do or not, and there was a point there where we found a location where it would work, and decided to just jump in and have a crack at it and see if we could get it to work. So
but the lead up to that, so Toby and the kids started playing gelball, and we had a young baby at the time, and then Toby started making hop-ups and all that sort of stuff, and then I was working in sales predominantly for an automotive software company. And then we set up Blaster Supplies, an online shop. The only local stuff we sold was HSG products, like hop-ups and gel blasters. And at that point, there was kind of like a few big stores, but there was you were able to get stuff from China really, really cheap in like 7 to 10 days. Yeah. So, yeah, we set up like a drop shipping store, and then that slowly evolved to become a local only store. And then, nice. Then it stitches into what Toby just said.
Yeah, excellent. Oh, good stuff. All right, well, let's talk about the field setup. So at Hardcore Blasters there, you've got it looks like scenario-based games on one side and a speedball field on the other side. Can you talk us through how it all works?
Pretty much exactly like you just said, Dan, yep. Strangely. The first field that we built was, we have quite a lot of space here, and we had to start somewhere. So we built the character field, which is basically sort of the leisure version of gelball. People come along and get placed into a team and play sort of objective-based games in a character-driven field. And as sort of time permitted and money permitted, we eventually got to the point where we were able to build the sport version of it as well in another section. So we have two very different sections doing two very different things. One's very sport-oriented, very competition-driven, fast-paced, and what are you doing?
You keep bumping the table, and you're bumping the camera. Stop bumping the camera.
I can't help it. There's no room here.
Sorry.
Anyway, very sport-oriented, very sport-driven and competitive for the speedball. So I'm not sure if you noticed the camera bumping going on.
No, but we're going to have to use that clip in the comedy sort of lead up. Yeah, the guys are both smiling and thumbs up. Yep, fantastic.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how we operate here on a daily basis. It's pretty much 90% comedy and 10% business.
Ah, mate, that's fantastic. And I mean, guys, relationship goals as well. You guys are absolutely killing it. That's fantastic.
Yeah, working together certainly does present its own series of challenges.
Good stuff. A little bit of sarcasm in there, I could see. All right.
Hey Dan, just quickly on the CQB field, when we first opened, we kept it very to begin with. We wanted it to be like a replica of a video game.
Yep.
So that, and the
Which
first
game?
map we ever did was Kill House.
Call of
Yep.
Duty.
Yeah, because when we walked in here, we were like, holy crap, this shed is amazing. This looks
Yeah.
like Kill House.
Yeah.
So that was our first map layout. And looking back at it now, it was so basic, I guess, in terms of how gel balls evolved and how complicated the field layouts have become. But back then it was freaking awesome.
Yeah, still is. You know, I mean, everything about that field is fantastic. I remember we had an end of year function there. You know, back when I was still playing with the Slop Raiders. I do remember we came up there and had our end of year bash in Ipswich, and it was fantastic. Field's amazing. So, yeah, you have done really well there. But yeah, and last time I did visit, I noticed that you don't only have an attached store, but you've also got what looks like a workshop to manufacture your own parts. Tell me a little bit about that.
About 8 or 9 years ago, we bought a small CNC machine to manufacture pedal boxes for racing simulators, which is where the name Hardcore Sim Gear comes from. That was the original sort of objective of that business, and we did do that. We prototyped through about 3 or 4 different pedal boxes, designing our own electronics, manufacturing the original manufacturing of the electronics, even down to making the PCB boards, was done on our own mill. So we made sort of 3 or 4 prototypes, and then started to get to the point where we were making pedal boxes and selling them. And it got to the point where it was either kind of went down that road or went down the Gel Blasters road, and it just got so busy. Gel Blasters got so busy. We ended up with a print farm of 3D printers making hop-ups and parts.
Wow.
And a lot of it came from, originally we used to 3D print prototypes before we'd make them on the mill, because it was more expensive and time consuming to make them on the mill. So eventually it got to the point where we were good at 3D printing, we were good at milling parts, and it kind of just progressed from there. Now we have a whole farm of 3D printers, and we have much bigger machinery. We have the CNC mill, 3-axis mill that we use weighs about 6.5 ton.
Wow.
It was fun getting it in.
Yeah, 20 ton Franna crane lifting it into position there, and it came up from South Australia originally. So it's just kind of progressed. We're at the point now where we've got the capability to do quite a lot of things. There's some things we can't do yet, but to take that next step up to the next level of machinery is significant. It probably won't happen. That's probably about the peak of our capability at the moment. 3-axis mill and lathe. So.
Still pretty cool though.
Yeah, very cool.
Very cool. But to be like a husband and wife team and just run a gel ball field, we wouldn't have been able to quit our jobs and make this a lifestyle choice for our family. So we had to make sure that we covered a few different areas to make gel ball our life, essentially.
To make really the facility work at all, it needed diversification. One thing alone was never going to make it a viable proposition. So.
Yeah, and it's always good to have sort of several income streams as well to keep the family afloat, as you say. Yeah. And one of the things I love about this, because there's only a handful of Australian retailers who are doing their own manufacturing here in Australia, and I know that as far as keeping our industry alive, that's actually one of the things that politicians like to see is Australians making Australian-made products, because at some point there's the potential to export, which is good for the industry as a whole. And the country.
100%.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right. Now, what's your experience been like operating a gel ball field and a business with the various COVID lockdowns and restrictions?
I think it's no dissimilar to any other business that has gone through it. But for us personally, we'd quit our jobs. We'd invested a whole heap of money into something that we weren't quite sure was going to work. Yeah. We were open 3 months. And then we got shut down for 3 months. Oh. And anyone who's opened a new business knows how important that first year of trading is. And we were shut down for 3 months with no support from, the government at that time. The ATO didn't kick in for, a good month and a half or something, I think. But it was terrible, absolutely terrible.
Yeah. We almost thought we'd made the wrong decision.
Yeah.
And COVID aside, we hadn't. Going into COVID, all the sessions were full. Everything looked like it was going to be roses, But,
and you have a contingency plan, but how could anyone have forecast a worldwide pandemic with a closure for 3 months?
Yeah, that wasn't in the plans.
It's exactly right. I mean, there was another field used to be open, Rapid Vantage. I don't know if you remember Luke and the guys,
yeah,
but I remember
he played here he played here for 2.5 months every week consistently.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
well,
we know Luke well. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, it was crazy because Luke opened, and or I think he was just about to open, and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
Just worst timing for so many people. But do you find running a family business like Hardcore places any additional pressure on you guys as a family?
No, not at all.
You're a liar.
It definitely does, Dan. It was huge, especially in the early days. We were still living in Brisbane with the field in Ipswich, so we're finishing up here at sort of 9:30 at night, getting home at 10:30 at night.
Kids off to school.
3 kids trying to do school the following day.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare, which is why we live in Ipswich now. And the kids all go to, what's wrong? Is the table
I'm sorry,
moving
he
again?
keeps bloody bumping the table. I'm so sorry. I keep interrupting. Sorry.
This is going to be a fantastic blooper reel.
Does it need to be a blooper reel, or may as well just chuck it in?
Yeah, well, yeah, we may as well just leave it here.
We want to be relatable.
A bit of both.
Yeah.
But I've got to say, from my perspective, I was working a job where I traveled interstate, internationally, had to spend time away. I went back to work at 4 months when our baby was 4 months old.
Yep.
So to be able to spend every day with your husband or wife and your kids, it's pretty amazing.
There's good and bad. There's definitely.
There's bad.
Yeah, the bad bit is being
tread carefully here, Toby.
Your wife. The bad is the impact on the kids mostly. The tiredness and it's not exactly parents of the year for what they've been put through to get the place up and running. Things have definitely settled into a bit of a routine now.
Yeah.
But that first year was very, very difficult.
Very tough. Yeah.
Tough on us too. When you're tired, things can deteriorate rapidly.
Yeah. Look, I mean, good on yous though. I mean, you've managed to pull through it, and I mean, it's the ultimate test of a relationship too, isn't it? So,
yeah, not wrong.
Yeah, if you can run a business together, you're doing well. So
a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel now, though. So
that's exactly right. All right, now tell us about all the extra work that goes into the behind the scenes of running a speedball league.
Oh, that's a lot to do with the team.
Yep.
So it's not just Kathy and Toby. From the get-go, we knew we needed a team. We knew it couldn't be Kathy and Toby.
Yep.
So we're really lucky and fortunate that we get to meet so many cool people coming through our doors. So we already kind of knew who we wanted.
Yep.
And we handpicked a selected team of experienced, people that come from different areas that all bring their own strengths, and they really run it. They run the front end and we run the back end.
Fantastic.
The referees are incredible. The camera guy, Trent from Soft Ops setting up the live stream stuff for us right at the very beginning. There's so many things. It couldn't have just happened with just us.
Except that Rowan guy.
Credit for any of it.
That Rowan guy, Rowan, he's kind of dodgy.
Oh, so, dodgy as hell. Dodgy as hell.
Yeah, but you need a dodgy front man.
Yeah, that's it. Let him take the fall. Hey, Rowan, by the way, if you watch it. There you go. Love it. All right.
Hey, but even our field was built by one of the players from the Headhunters.
Yep.
And all the lighting was put in by a player from Hogan's Heroes. We paid for it, obviously,
awesome.
But it's a community effort.
It's good that there are a lot of people involved. That's fantastic. All right. Now, question for each of you. What is your favourite gel blaster?
Ooh.
Oh, I know mine straight up.
What's yours,
Mine's
Kath?
an SLR, because being a retailer, you want gel blasters that don't get returned.
Yep.
And an SLR is the most reliable gel blaster. They are awesome as a basic platform to build on. They're just awesome. I love them.
Excellent.
What about you?
One that works when you pull the trigger.
Yeah, I love it.
I don't know. It would come down to my favourite gun at the time. At the moment, I really want to get an MP5.
He's got about 100 gel blasters. So,
oh, jeez.
Well, we do own a shop. So,
yeah.
Look, back in the day when I was shooting you in the face several years ago at
or attempting to, yeah.
That was an ACR, and they were brilliant to handle. The Gen Me,
the old Gen 10 or J10,
couldn't go wrong. Before that, it was the Gen 8 was incredible. If I had to say what the best value for money and best bang for buck I've ever had out of a gel blaster, it was my original M4A1 Gen 8. Put a lucky for you gearbox in it, and away I went. It was unreal.
I have to agree.
Still here, still works. So
have to agree. That's for sure. Yeah.
But now so spoilt for choice now, Dan.
It's nuts.
And how deep are your pockets?
It's a platter of fine dining right now in in gel ball. It's just crazy. I mean, and on top of that, I think the industry's changed as a whole. I think a lot of gel ballers used to be quite happy with the level of quality we used to have. Can you imagine introducing those blasters from back then to the current market of gel ballers?
We had a guy in the shop yesterday, an old guy that came in, and he had a Gen 8, and Lockie had to fix something on it for him, and just hearing it, like in comparison to all the HPA and high-end custom builds we have coming out of the tech room to this Gen 8 firing in the tech room, it was quite comical. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Okay. Now, how about this one? Who is your favorite gel baller?
I know mine. I'm going to regret saying it, but mine's Trent from Soft Ops.
Yep.
He's like the most adaptable gel ball player I've seen. And when I mean adaptable, I don't just mean he can play a different format like speedball to milsim to casual. Yep. He kicks ass at it. Like, he is a machine. And he looks cool. He always dresses up really cool too. Like Scuba Steve. I like his HPA outfit. He looks like Scuba Steve.
Oh, that's brilliant.
What about you?
I would not have a favorite. There are a handful of people. We get a lot of characters in the character field, and they all play such a different way. It's the same piece of cover and the same little alleyway or whatever, and same window and a thing, but no one uses it the same way. And how they use the field, it's a sign of their character as a person. And some of the guys, we have guys who come here and play with just a foam sword.
Yeah,
I've seen some of those videos. They're hilarious. Take on the field, and they run like the whole for 3 hours. They run and they get massive amounts of kills. And so there's that type of player. Then there's other guys who just look like they stepped straight out of Mogadishu or something, got on the helicopter there and landed out the front here and came into play. Like, I would never pin it down to one thing because they're all so different. We call it the character field for a lot of reasons. One, it's got a lot of character, but it's got a lot of characters in it. So I would never pin it down to one guy. Very cool.
There's so many guys that come through. Yeah.
All girl.
Yeah, very good point. Now, what does the future look like for hardcore blasters?
Well, we just introduced a new competition format to the character field, and we realized there was a lack in fast regular competition for people who didn't perhaps like speedball.
Sure.
So what's the best game mode? Search and destroy. So we created hardcore search and destroy, where 4 to 6 teams every month can register, come together in a very organized format and compete for a trophy.
Good stuff. That sounds like a lot of fun.
It is.
Excellent.
It is. It's in between a public session and full-on speedball. It's competitive, but sort of an element of fun and character at the same time,
And the teams who've entered have loved it. So
feedback's
it's a success.
Really good.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Well, something to look forward to then. All right. Well, look, Kath and Toby, guys, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been a long time coming as well. You're what I consider to be one of the original fields. So, fantastic to have you on here. Now, can you please tell our viewers and listeners how they can find out more about hardcore?
The easiest way is probably our main website, which is www.hardcoreblasters.com.au. And most of the social links, YouTube and all of our other websites are linked off that page. So that's probably the easiest way. But Facebook, Hardcore Blasters Field, and Instagram, hardcore_blasters.
Excellent. All right. Awesome. Thank you very much. And ladies and gents, as always, I'm Dan from Ausgel. You can find Ausgel at www.ausgel.com.au, across all the socials as Ausgel, and on Instagram at AusgelAmmo. Thank you very much for watching, guys. We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning into our podcast. It means a lot to us. If you enjoyed today's podcast, leave a comment or review below and hit the follow or subscribe button. If you have any questions or want to be part of a future episode, or even want to know more about Ausgel, head to ausgel.com.au to get in touch.